Hello, my dear friends, how are you? Today's reading is about the two disciples of Emmaus. I've read the story over and over again. I've heard it so many times in my life. But every time I hear it, there is something new that I can discover. Well, two disgruntled disciples going away from Jerusalem, not knowing what happened really. And I see myself as one of those disciples. When Jesus comes and walks along my way, and I start talking to a stranger, not knowing that that stranger is Jesus. And then my eyes are opened in the breaking of the bread. Isn't this wonderful that you've got the apostles locked up in a room, and suddenly Jesus comes in and says, Shalom, peace be with you. And then this same Jesus meets the two disciples in another way. They were not in a closed room, but they were walking. And then they invite him to break bread with them. And then, as he broke bread and gave the blessing, their eyes were opened and they saw Jesus. And they said, were not our hearts burning as we spoke to us? Now, isn't this you and me? As the gospel is being read, is not our heart burning with love, with enthusiasm? Now, when the apostles saw Jesus, and when these two disciples saw Jesus, two different scenarios. And Jesus did not meet the apostles by breaking bread, but he met these two disciples by breaking bread. So Jesus customizes sort of his encounter with us differently according to who we are. But then the miracle happened when the two disciples did not stop there, but they went back to Jerusalem and they shared with the apostles that we've seen the Lord. And the apostles said, oh, yes, we have seen the Lord too. That is the point of encounter. That is the point of unity. That we who love Christian ecumenism, that is, coming together as disciples of Jesus, we can only share if we have met Jesus, and then we share the richness of Jesus, the wonderful encounter with Jesus. My dear friends, today, let the Lord Jesus surprise you because he's meeting you in a way which is different from any other. Open your heart to this encounter. God bless you, my friends.